Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We don't have an episode for you this week because we weren't able to line up our schedules right. So there's going to be no episode this week, but I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. I'm going to upload the audio, because we started off as audio, from 2011, our very first episode that we put up on iTunes. So I'm going to upload this here so you can get that. I'll throw in a picture of us back in the day. And yeah, but you could just let this play, minimize your browser, and just listen to us talk about, I forgot what we talked about. So if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe. We've gotten quite a few subscribers because of our Love, Death, and Robots, which is awesome. So yeah, welcome new people, and hopefully you like our very first episode. And if you like more of this, let me know in the comments, and I will upload more. Or if you want, you can just go to our archive and check it out there. So without further ado, here it is. Welcome to Some Shit We Like. My name is Rick.
I'm Mike.
I'm Bryce Defer.
Bryce Defer. Okay, that's right, Bryce Defer.
Not Bryce, Bryce Defer.
I don't know, judging by your text message earlier, I thought we were recording with Bruce this week, but...
No.
Yeah, come on. Seriously, that happens way too often to me.
It was the
Yeah,
autocorrect, man. The autocorrect on my iPhone just said Bruce instead of Bryce.
That's why you shouldn't have an iPhone.
Oh, let's not get into that war right now.
Let's not even bring up the fact that I'm the one that sold you into the iPhone, but I'm just saying you shouldn't have an iPhone.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
where was I for that conversation? Oh, I sort of vaguely remember.
Right.
yeah, we were at Fry's, but anyways,
So this is episode 1 of Some Shit We Like.
Episode 1.
number one.
And we're going to talk about some shit we like. And this week it's Oscars and some video game stuff. It'll vary from week to week, but that's what we're going on this week.
And it's shit we like. You guys don't have to like it, but we like it.
That's right.
Darn right. Anyways, let's start off with Best Picture. My Best Picture pick. Well, we got a few Best Pictures. We got 10.
That's way too many, man.
Yeah,
That's way too
totally
many.
concur.
Yeah, that is way too many. I think we should preface this by also noting that Rick is an Oscar whore.
Right, he's wearing his tuxedo right now. Like he's got full on tails. He's got his hair combed like Millhouse. He's ready to party.
Time to party down. Well,
Mic in hand.
so there's 10 of them, right? And
Okay.
there's The Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are All Right, The King's Speech, 127 Hours, The Social Network, and Toy Story 3,
Story
True
3.
Grit, and Winter's Bone.
How dare you almost forget Toy Story 3?
Yeah, Toy Story, what it? 1, 3.
Schindler's Toy Box, as Kevin Smith calls it.
Totally.
I will say I am happy that I think I actually know every single movie that was just listed off, unlike other years in the Oscars.
Oh, really?
I think the only one I'm unsure of even knowing is Winter's Bone. But all
Maybe,
other
yeah.
I've seen the trailers for, and I know those movies.
Yeah.
It's very rare that happens.
Yeah, I don't think I know Winter's Bone either. Winter's Bone.
Porn title.
Wait, what is it?
I was gonna say,
Is that what it's called?
Winter's
Yeah.
Bone.
Okay. Okay. For a second, I was like, maybe it's Winter's Bones. I thought I screwed up. All right.
No S. It's a classy adult picture.
Yeah.
That, transcends the AVN Awards and made it over to the Oscars.
Well, that's good.
So my pick, man, it's really tough. I know that they never had this many, obviously, but
No.
I guess they wanted a wider range. They did it last year, and I think it was
Do you guys
Hurt
agree?
Locker.
Do you guys
won last year?
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
interrupting.
cool. Hurt Locker won last year. Go for it. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, do you guys agree, though? I mean, it just seems like there's more, maybe even more mainstream movies involved this year than in previous years, I think, but I don't know.
No, I agree totally, man. It's definitely nice to see a change like that. Even though I haven't seen the majority of these movies, it's nice to see that. Be like, oh, hey, I know that movie.
Yeah.
All right, I've at least seen the trailer for that movie, and it's not some fucking snooty film student movie that I don't, or I and 90% of the population don't care about.
Right, exactly. And Rick, I mean, I think you've probably followed a little more than Mike and I do, but I'm just saying sometimes there's some years where, yeah, I don't even know that the movie's off their title, off the list. But you're kind of quiet, so I don't know if maybe you agree or disagree with that, because maybe I'm wrong, but that just seems to be...
I would actually agree. I like that they added a lot. Well, I mean, there's 10 of them. I'm glad that some movies are getting recognized that others didn't. Like King's Speech had a limited release, but as the press got a hold of it, and all the hoopla around it got pretty well known, and it was a pretty good movie. It was a darn good movie.
I'll say the only reason I really know the King's Speech though is because some other shit we like on Kevin Smith's podcast, he talked about it a lot about a month and a half ago when he saw it.
Right.
I think
I basically know the premise and the whole deal. I haven't seen the movie, but it's like I know what movie that is. Like if in a lineup, I'd be able to pick it out because I've heard people talk about it already.
Yeah, well, the reason from them adding more to the Best Picture was because to get some of the ones that were in limited release, like 127 Hours was limited until it actually made a good amount of money at the local like indie theaters. Same thing with The Kids Are All Right. But like, if this was just like the 5 titles, you would only get like True Grit, Toy Story, The Fighter, Inception, Black Swan type of deal.
See, that's something I wanted to bring up, and not to get off on a big tangent, but to me, like I said, I haven't seen any of the movies in this except Toy Story, and to me, that was a great movie. Like, and I would like to think that if it was still only 5, it would still be on this list.
Oh, it would definitely be on the list. I mean, Toy Story is obviously it's Disney. It's a mainstream movie, but there's no doubt about that Toy Story had to be on the list. If you've seen it,
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Good, man.
The cynic in me would think that if it was a smaller list, that Toy Story would get snubbed. But that's just the way I feel.
I think so. I think they would just be like, all right, yeah. It's going to be Best Animated Picture this year, so we're just going to leave it there.
I'm not used to seeing
animated movies.
This animated movies, or like I said, even this many movies that are kind of more mainstream or that I'm more aware of involved. And I just think in my opinion, if it was smaller, it wouldn't surprise me if it was snubbed. If it was a smaller,
I think it would have been a Best Picture either way, even if it was just 5 or the 10.
I'd like to think so, but I think I think Bryce is right just because of the fact that it has its own category already that it's going to fucking dominate. So why would they need to put it in the Best Picture? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was such a good movie. It was done by
it was great.
By the same writer of Little Miss Sunshine. I don't know if you guys seen that.
No, I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
It's another great movie, which also actually won Best Picture. Did it win Best Picture?
Oh, wow.
I think it won Best Picture. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it won.
You're supposed to know.
I love the back. I know.
You're the one best. It fucking won Best Picture. No, wait, hey man, don't quote me on that. I don't know.
And
look it up and email us, listeners, because we're too lazy to do it.
So yeah, I think Toy Story would have been on there either way. But the pick for me, I think for Best Picture. Shit, man, this year is a hard one for sure. I mean, last year, no doubt, Hurt Locker was my favorite. But, I think it's between Toy Story, and Winter's Bone, I think. Yeah.
Really?
It is a tie for me, but I want to say Toy Story 3 would win. That's my pick. I would say Toy Story 3.
My sentimental pick is Toy Story.
But, I have seen most of these movies, and
okay,
they're all great movies.
I don't want to sound like I'm just going with the crowd, but I probably would say Toy Story 2. But that, to me, that's the sentimental favorite. And like
Toy
I
Story
said,
3.
Yeah, Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 also.
Witty, man.
Toy Story 3 also.
I'm just breaking
the one that I surely believe that the dude does not belong on this list is The Kids Are All Right.
Really?
I did not like that movie one bit. It was
Well, see, this is good because you guys have both seen it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Bryce, you saw it. What do you think? Do you think it should be on the list or not?
I know we're trying to, have a good little conversation here, but I really didn't care for that movie either.
Oh,
that's why I want to know. Yeah.
Thank you.
but it's just not really my kind of movie. I'm not sure. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan. I was kind of boring, and I wasn't satisfied with the ending really either. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, granted, when I did go see it, I did walk in thinking it was going to be some kind of a drama with very light comedy in it, but it turned out to be a complete comedy, and which is fine with me. I mean, I like.
Think so? I mean, I think.
I mean, I'm fine that it's a comedy. It's just maybe I was in the wrong mindset, but I went in thinking it was a drama. I mean, the kids are all right. That sounds kind of like a drama or dramedy type of movie, I guess.
I think it was a dramedy, in my opinion. There's a lot of comedy in it, but I mean, there's definitely drama involved. But I get what you're saying.
That dramatic, though. I mean, the performances were like okay. They weren't great. And Mark Ruffalo it looked like he wasn't even trying to act in that movie. He just felt so weak. At least to me, it did.
Yeah, I liked him I didn't like his character in that movie. So I don't know if I thought it was weak. I just didn't like his character in the movie personally. I've liked him in other movies, but I didn't really care for him in that movie. Which I don't know. I mean, I guess he was supposed to be likable kind of at first, and then by the end of it, he's sort of not supposed to be likable, so maybe that's him doing a good job, but you kind of disagree. You think his acting was weak.
I felt like it was weak. Of course.
Have you noticed that as a trend, though, in movies lately with acting, especially in some lead roles where it's like they want the lead character to be very bland so that the viewer can like put their own spin on what they think the personality is? There's a lot of movies out where that's happening.
Oh, really?
It's like just act it bland.
Which movies are you talking about?
Well, I'd like a perfect example. Like, this is not indicative of anything I like, but I've sat down and watched them. But the main actors in Twilight are just very bland, and just any kind of movie that's been out lately that has a younger cast, they're just very bland and cardboard. Like, they're just scenery, and that it's more just a backdrop for whatever story is trying to be told.
Well, I mean, Twilight is. It's obviously a teen movie. I mean,
right. No, but like that's just like the way you're talking about Mark Ruffalo's performance. Granted, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but it just seems very sterile and wooden. Like there's really not much to it.
Right.
The way you're talking about it, and just
that's how his performance was. It just wasn't.
I think that's a trend with a lot of younger actors right now.
Well, he's not that young.
Well, I'm just saying though, like that's what I'm getting from it.
Right. Well, like I said, I didn't think it really should be on this list. I mean, what should have probably been on this list was to replace that Blue Valentine, which I thought was that was such a good freaking movie. That was the drama that I should have walked into instead of The Kids Are All Right.
Well, I think maybe I haven't seen that movie, but I think maybe there's just more comedy than you were anticipating in The Kids Are All Right.
That's
because I just think maybe it had a little, more than you were expecting.
Yeah. Another movie I think we've all seen, The Social Network.
Oh, tried to watch that. Can't do it.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on the list.
So you tried to watch it and you just couldn't. Where did you stop? Where did you stop?
Like, dude, I popped it in. I can't even make it through the opening sequence. And I don't know if it's just because I don't care and don't want to watch it, but I didn't even want to force myself to watch it.
So did you just walk out and everyone else finish watching it, or did?
No, I was going to watch it by myself. And I just popped it in.
So you didn't even finish?
Because Rick let me borrow it.
You didn't even get to the part where he walked into his dorm? Through the whole opening?
No, dude. I can't, man. I can't. You either pull me in or you don't, and it didn't.
Rick is like, that was a present. I loaned that to you for a purpose. You were supposed to watch it.
The beginning conversation with him and his girlfriend wasn't interesting to you?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I popped it in, started it, and was like, dude, I'm fucking out. I'm done.
I think he I don't think it's a case of that the movie, is bad. I think Mike just doesn't care. Maybe it's just the topic he doesn't care. Or maybe I'm off base.
I think that's it, because we talked about that before, Rick, when we first saw the trailer for this movie, and it's like, I don't care about that story. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was my mindset too. I didn't really care to watch it. I wasn't even going to watch it, but the people.
Dude, then you went out and saw it in theaters, and then you went and bought it. Like,
because it was
come on.
it was that
You liked
good.
it.
I had low expectations. I didn't think it was gonna be that good, but then I started seeing some of these reviews. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll go see it. Maybe it's not that bad. But then I went and I watched it. I mean, I paid for it, so of course I was going to stand there and watch it. And I stayed. And to be honest, yes, that opening scene is a little bit long. And I was like,
dude, I would if I would have saw this in theaters, I would have walked out in the beginning.
I was just going to say,
would have walked the fuck out.
I was just going to say, Mike's like, I didn't pay for this shit. I'm not watching it. But yeah, you probably would have walked out anyway. You'd be like, fuck this. I'm out.
You guys know my
home.
personality. We talked about it in episode 0. You know my personality when it comes to shit like this, dude. If I don't like it, I'm out. I'm gone.
I'm kind of where Rick's at though. Like, for me, it's more of a.
You got to give him a chance. I mean,
well, it's kind of no.
Can
but
I
I'm
skip
saying,
the opening sequence then? I'll give it another shot.
Skip the opening sequence if you have to. I mean, yes,
okay.
I understand it is kind of long, but once after that point, that's where it gets better. There's more dialogue. There's more interaction. It gets good.
If he doesn't want to watch it, he doesn't want to watch it. But what I was saying though, like Rick, for me, what attracted me to the movie is probably more of a curiosity thing. There is so much hype around it where I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll check this out. Everyone's saying good things about the movie, but I think we can all agree, because we already all said that we kind of don't really give a crap about the story of Facebook. You know, I mean, that Mike clearly doesn't, and then you clearly didn't either, Rick. But the reviews pulled you in. That's kind of what pulled me in.
Yeah, guess what, guys? He makes a lot of money on a social networking website.
I mean, yeah,
the boat sinks in Titanic. Like, spoiler warning. Just saying.
But the way the movie is, it's about the characters. I mean, this is a character movie. Yes, the Facebook is part of it, but the characters, the friendship of it, the betrayal, that's really the story, the real raw story that's going on. I mean, it's over exaggerated, yes. I mean, don't take this as the complete story.
Of course not. I never would.
Okay.
You know?
Well, yeah, I know you wouldn't, but I mean, maybe other people out there would. Let's say, oh, this is how it actually happened, because it's not. It's a story. Someone wrote the story, and this is what happened. So
this is an adaptation of some sort of real event.
Exactly.
That are only real to one side of the story.
I'll sit down and I'll watch it for 10 minutes and then I'll walk out and then we can have a little bit further of a discussion. But really, I'll watch the movie. You know how Mike is by now, man. Like, if he doesn't want to watch something, he just doesn't want to watch it.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys know I'm the movie guy. I have.
Jeez, make me sound like a douchebag.
No, I'm not making you sound like a douchebag. I'm just saying.
You don't give a fuck.
I'm that same way, though. I'm that same way. You know, like there's just. I don't think it. I don't know. Maybe if you did sit down and watch it, you would like it. You would enjoy it. So, but I just think you don't want to.
I've sat through movies that I'm sure are far worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have. Everyone.
Well, I'm not
has.
saying I'm not saying you're incapable.
Right.
I just know.
I don't want to.
When you're right, when your mind's set on something, your mind's set on something, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. I've come to think of it, I've never walked out of a movie, and I've been close when I watched that. Oh, what was that horrible movie that just came out with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie.
Oh God. Shit on a Stick?
Yeah, that's the title of it. Oh man, so many times I felt like just getting up and just leaving.
You should have, man.
Because I wanted to give it a chance. I have the respect to the.
You should have walked out. You should have walked out, went back to the ticket counter, took a dump on the counter, and said, "This is better than what you have me watching. Now give me my money back."
Yeah, but still, I haven't.
Exact opposite.
I don't walk out. I don't walk out in movies. I give them the respect and I watch it.
Was it The Tourist?
The Tourist.
Yeah, that's the movie?
That's what it was. The Tourist. It was just so bad. But I stayed and I grunched through it and I walked. If they took out, honestly, it could have been a good movie. The only thing is they had too many aerial shots and look at this beautiful city. I'm like, yes, we get the city is beautiful. We don't need 10, 15 minutes of that shit showing
sweeping crane shot of the entire island. No thanks.
So
kind of like being artsy for the sake of being artsy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate that.
So yeah, that's I think you should.
I don't think
like I said, I wouldn't walk out because I'm not. Well, I have respect to any writer or director. If I'm jumping into it, I'm gonna jump into it full force and just sit there and watch, no matter how bad it is.
Oh, me too, man. I completely have respect for anybody that throws their nuts on the table to make a movie and tell their story. But if I don't like it, I'm not gonna sit through it. I can still respect you and be like, I respect that you were able to make what you wanted to make, but I don't like it.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie. I think I've been kicked out of a movie, but I've never walked out of a movie before.
I've been kicked out as well, but only because I didn't pay.
Nice. You know, I've never
movie hop.
I've never actually walked out on a movie, but I won't put myself in that position.
Yeah, I'm that same way.
So yeah. But skip.
So best picture, Toy Story
3 all around, it seems like.
Well, what else on that list did you want to talk about, though? Was there?
Yeah, is there any other movies on that list you want to talk about that you've seen?
Well, there's Inception. I know Bryce, you saw Inception as well as I did.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on Inception? Christopher Nolan.
He was incepted.
It was a good movie. I liked it. I mean, I don't know. What were your thoughts?
Here's what I'll say real quick. From somebody who hasn't seen it, if Toy Story doesn't win, I'd like to see Inception win, just because I know Chris Nolan doesn't make bad movies.
No, he does not.
That's it.
It was a good movie.
Well, Rick, I've heard you. I feel like I've heard you say before that you appreciated maybe the imagery or the director's work of that movie more so than the story itself, or is that
that's true? I wrote the article for Flash Flood Media.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
And
don't be plugging other shit here.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
I gotta be fair. I did. Before this, I did write or I'm still writing actually for another.
Some shit we like.
We are starting some shit we like.
Mr. Black. Like, he's gonna edit it now. It's gonna be like,
I know.
Oh man, yeah, I totally still write for some shit we like.
And anyways, Inception. Yeah, I like the visuals. The visuals was good, obviously. I mean, Christopher Nolan can direct anything, and I would watch it. Story-wise, it was good. I'm not going to say it was awful. I mean, it was much better than Tourist, of course. But yeah, Inception, the story was great, but but it was the directing. And not only that, fucking Christopher Nolan got snubbed again for directing. He did not get nominated for freaking Inception.
Really?
Which really pissed me the fuck off. Yes, I cursed. I don't usually curse. But
I don't know
he doesn't curse unless he's drunk or real angry.
Yeah, you curse for sure.
I'm not drinking. Not here. Not now. But yeah, I was at least for this year.
Oh, that's such a bullshit resolution. But
that's your resolution? Yeah. Really?
I'm not gonna drink this year.
So you're gonna be a sober vegan?
Oh god, dude, that's the worst kind.
I'm borderline vegan.
You're gonna be
anyway.
You're gonna be a sober vegetable.
Anyways. Now you made me lose my train of thought.
You were talking about you're mad about
Christopher Nolan being snubbed.
Yeah, he was definitely snubbed for this, and I don't know, that just really pissed me off.
Here's my take on Inception, and
you would have to agree that he got snubbed, right?
Oh yeah. I think he should have been in there for sure. I mean, the movie, all the camera work and just you could definitely tell that he worked really hard on the movie. But this might be controversial. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be, but I think Inception. What happened with me is I think I heard too many people, and this happens a lot. You know, this is the common thing, but I heard too many people go, this movie's amazing. Like, I heard a lot of people say this movie's so good. Oh my God, you have to go see this movie. And so when I saw it, I enjoyed it, but I was a little bit underwhelmed, almost in the same way that I was a little bit underwhelmed. And this is where I think it's going to be controversial a little bit too with Iron Man, the first one, because I saw that movie. I was late to the party and seeing that movie also. And I heard so many people go like, Iron Man, oh my God, that movie's so amazing. Like the best movie ever. And it's like, I thought the movie was good, but after it was over again, I was just kind of like, okay, you know, it was a good movie, but I just think I was a victim to all the hype. You know, that's not to say the movies aren't good.
It did get overhyped. That's one thing I would agree.
Iron Man is a theater experience. Just throwing that out there. That is theater experience.
And I did see the first one not in theaters. I saw the second one in theaters, and I enjoyed the second one a whole hell of a lot more.
Second one wasn't as good.
I liked it a lot more though. So, and that's probably because I saw it in theaters. I saw it with you, if I remember right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think we all saw it together.
Yeah, we
Fuck
did.
Don Cheadle.
There was a big
Yeah,
group
yeah,
of
that's
us.
right. So
Fuck Don Cheadle.
See, you were out on that from the beginning. I remember.
Continue.
Okay.
I've said my
So-
piece.
All right.
So yeah, I really wish Nolan got best directing. David O. Russell did get a nomination for The Fighter, which I did
Fighter?
see, and
He's gonna ruin Uncharted.
let's not start the Uncharted talk yet.
Okay, all
But
right.
He did
throwing
a
that out.
pretty good job with The Fighter, but of course the thing that really saved the movie The Fighter was Bale, of course.
Of course,
Dude, that
dude's a
he
genius.
was
That dude is an
amazing in that
actor.
movie. Amazing. And Marky
Is
Mark.
it because he's shirtless a lot?
Oh yeah.
Well, he's shirtless a few times, I think. But yeah, and of course, Mr. Marky Mark.
Hey, don't call him Marky Mark,
I have to
okay?
call him Marky.
He's Mark Wahlberg. All
Mr.
right.
Mark Wahlberg.
He's just a young kid from the streets trying to make good, okay? Mark Wahlberg.
Anyways, he did okay.
He gets a lot of shit from people. He's a lot better than people give him credit for. He's a good actor.
Yeah, and there's too many people hopping on the bandwagon of, maybe he's better as being a producer or a show creator.
He's
I
good.
get shit.
He's good if you have
He's
the right
good,
director.
man.
If you have the right director, he's good. I mean,
Yeah.
just take a look at Scorsese movie he did, The Departed.
Departed.
I mean, he was good in that. He was really good in that.
Love that movie.
And
Fucking love that
I wouldn't
movie.
say he was awful in The Fighter, but he could have done a lot better.
You know what? I think it gets lost. He's actually a pretty good character actor, and I think that's the problem people have, is because they see him in one movie and like it, and then expect him to be that way in another movie. But he's very good at completely switching the way he plays a character.
I don't usually tend to fall like other people and typecast, but
Yeah.
I could understand that. I could totally understand that happening to a lot of people.
I think that's why a lot of actors get stuck playing the same type of role, is because they're afraid to switch it up.
Yeah,
And Marky Mark just don't give a fuck.
but I'll give him props for The Fighter.
Like, look at Johnny Depp. He's been
Mark
playing the same
Wahlberg,
fucking
Mike.
character for 20 years.
Mark Wahlberg.
So
And Johnny Depp, man, that's a mess.
he just needs to stop making movies.
Like, he's been playing the same character for 20 years, man. It's just,
And they're
Okay.
all by Tim Burton.
okay, I get it, man. You're a tortured soul. I get it. I
Him and
don't
Tim
care
Burton
anymore.
need to
I don't
fucking
fucking
get it
care.
over with.
Okay, lead roles. Let's talk about some actors in the
All
lead
right, yeah.
roles. We got James Franco for 127 Hours, Colin Firth for The King's Speech, Jesse Eisenberg for The Social Network, Jeff Bridges, True Grit, and Javier Bardem for I can't even say the title of this movie. Beautiful. It's like Beautiful, Bitful. I can't say it. I didn't see that movie. One of the movies I didn't see.
You know, here, man, I don't. Granted, I didn't watch the movie. I just don't get the Jesse Eisenberg thing.
I don't even think he should have been
I was
nominated.
totally gonna say. I think
don't get it.
I thought that was gonna be your choice. Since you like The Social Network so much.
Oh, I loved it. It was amazing.
He did a pretty good. He did really good in Social Network, but I would give it to James Franco. James Franco was amazing in 127 Hours. I mean, it's just the way Danny Boyle directed it, and the way how. It's just James Franco. What's his character? Aaron Ralston. Just him, and stuck for this whole movie. And you have to be a really good actor to pull something off like that. And I think he did a pretty darn good job. But then again, The King's Speech was really good too. Colin Firth was amazing. It's a tie between those two. I wouldn't know who to choose. I want to say James Franco, but which is pretty amazing because most of the movies I've seen him in, he's playing the stoner guy. So watching him in this movie was kind of strange.
I don't know if that's really true. There was kind of a long drought where James Franco was doing everything but comedy. You know what I mean? Then Pineapple Express came out, I mean, I think he's even, he was doing like soap operas, and then he does a lot of roles where he just kind of stayed away from comedy. So I don't think that's fair to typecast him as a stoner type. I mean, what, Freaks and Geeks and Pineapple Express?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There is a long drought of him not doing comedy.
Yeah.
So,
did you see that skit on Saturday Night Live with James?
Nobody watches Saturday Night Live, Rick.
I can't say I did, but go ahead and tell it for our listeners.
Oh, it's on Hulu. You can go watch it. Just they did a Weekend Update, and then the guy from Weekend Update is interviewing the fake James Franco, talking about how he's always working. So then he's like, "Yeah, I'm even working right now," and he pulls out, or he starts telling him about all the jobs he's doing. And then when they finish the segment for Weekend Update, you see the camera pulls over to James Franco holding up the cue cards. it's pretty darn funny. It's on Hulu. You'll be able to find that clip.
I just don't think Saturday Night Live is very funny anymore.
I haven't watched it.
Did
for
you watch
really
the one
long
with
time.
Dana Carvey?
No.
Dana Carvey was on it. I think it was last week.
Oh yeah.
And freaking Mike Myers comes on.
Oh.
And
that's pretty cool.
And they do a freaking Wayne's World in the beginning.
That's pretty rad.
I can't believe you didn't see that. Yeah, they do the beginning intro is Wayne's World, and of course you got I think it was Phil Hartman does the voiceover for that Aurora, Illinois part. So it's kind of eerie to hear his voice again.
Wow, did that not get much hype? I mean, I would have thought I would have heard about that. That's pretty cool.
Well, I know you're not on Twitter, but it was on the Twitter trending topics.
Dude, if you I'm on Twitter and that's bad enough, but fucking no trending topics don't fucking matter.
True.
Yeah,
just don't even follow.
But then
them,
again,
they don't
it was
matter.
tweeted by one of my friends, and that's how I actually found out. I didn't even know it was
a real friend.
Yeah,
or
a real friend.
I just think that seems like kind of like a big deal that I would have heard that even outside of Twitter. Because normally, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in a really long time either. But if something really funny or something kind of cool goes down on the show, you normally hear about it somewhere, even just going to yahoo.com or somewhere. So just kind of surprising to me.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out when we're done recording.
Yeah,
definitely check it out. It was really good, and it's funny they go over the best movies, kind of like we just did, and they talk about how every title pretty much is a porn title, and. Or they just talk about a few of the movies that kind of have the porn titles, like Winter's Bone, and I think they go over Rabbit Hole too, and Inception, and it's good. You gotta watch it.
Winter's Bone, Frozen Boners, the Frozen Boner movie,
and then
or it's a girl named Winter,
and she's gonna get boned,
and she's searching for a bone.
To put inside of her body.
To be incepted.
To incept.
So actress in the lead role, we got Annette Bening for The Kids Are All Right, which is probably the only part of the movie she was the only thing that really saved that movie. Nicole Kidman, Rabbit Hole, Jennifer Lawrence, and Winter's Bone. Again. Natalie Portman, Black Swan, Michelle Williams, Blue Valentine. My pick...
It's going to go to Portman. It has to.
You know what? As much as I want Michelle Williams to win this one, it's going to go to Portman no matter what.
Yeah, this is one of those things we're talking about. Like,
it's
Oscars being fixed and shit. Like, she's going to get it.
Yeah, she has to come in. She got the Golden Globe for it, and I'm sure she's going to get the Oscar for it too.
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence did pretty good too as well.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
That's for Black Swan, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, is there a reason why she get more play than what's her face? Than Meg?
She's the main character.
She's the main character. It's a really artsy-fartsy movie. But I mean, it's good. It honestly. Did you see Black Swan? No. Okay, I thought Mike watched it, but I guess not.
Well, does Mila Kunis not really have that big of a role?
No, she did have a role in it.
She would be considered a supporting actress in that movie.
She is.
That is the Natalie Portman show, from what I gather.
It is, but she does play a part in it though, a pretty good part in it, and like you said, I mean, it's going to go to Portman no matter what, even though either Michelle Williams or Jennifer Lawrence should get it.
I don't know. To me, it seems like the other person that you would pull out of there, like being like, "Oh, look who wins," is Nicole Kidman too. Just saying that just seems like a name that they would just give it.
Yeah. Actually, I would think Annette Bening would be the name to give it to.
Well, I'm not saying who I think should win. I'm just saying Nicole Kidman's another
Those high
one of those
names,
names.
yeah.
It seems like,
Yeah,
it
I
looks just
understand
like,
what you're saying.
she's gonna get it. Yeah. So,
Although if you saw Rabbit Hole, she was pretty darn good in it too.
my favorite Annette Bening performance is probably in The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. So any other role she's been in, screw it.
Not even
That's-
American
Gives a
Beauty?
shit, right? Didn't see it.
I didn't see it, and it probably wasn't as good as The Great
Nope.
Outdoors.
Nothing is as good as The Great Outdoors.
No,
All right.
End
a
of
bear
conversation.
gets shot in the ass with a shotgun lamp. I mean, seriously, it's
Best
over
picture.
after that.
Best picture.
Best
Great
picture
Outdoors.
this year, 2011.
It's gonna come back and get nomination.
Oh God, don't say that, Bryce, because then we'll get some fucking shitty remake.
Yeah, and that'll bum me out.
Oh.
That remake.
Fuck remakes.
All right. I know a few of you only watched going into animated short films. I know we all seen Day and Night.
Day and Night. So good. So good. I don't care what the other ones are, man. I really don't. It's so good.
Did you see the other ones that I sent you? You didn't see the Lost? You didn't see
I did. I told you I wasn't home all day.
right,
I was
right.
out. I didn't have internet.
He opened those emails and he's like, "Oh, I'm not home," and delete. Delete. Day and Night.
Day and Night. Day and Night is good,
Dude,
but
it was so good. It's probably not going to win though.
it could win. I mean, the only other contender I think would either be The Gruffalo, also based on a children's book, or based on a children's book, and The Gruffalo, yeah. And the other one that I really liked too was the Lost Thing.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was cool. I didn't see The Gruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo?
The Gruffalo.
Mark Gruffalo.
Sorry. I was sitting on that. I didn't want to do it, but I had to
pull it.
Dude, there's something else I want to say too, but I'm not going to because Rick will just have to edit it out because no one will get it except us and our immediate friends. But just think Raul.
Dude, no. Earlier when you guys were talking about Mark Ruffalo, that's the first thing I thought.
Mark Ruffalo, the Gruffalo.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
so
The Lost was cool, man. I like that a lot. I like the animation. So that's based on a children's book, huh?
That's also based on a children's book too. Yes, and
Like, is the film like a condensed version of the book, or is the book like a short story as well?
I haven't read the book. I just know it was based off of a book. So I couldn't say for sure, but for how long it was, it could be. I mean, that's why they're short because children's books are pretty short.
Yeah, no, I like that. I thought that was cool, I dug the creativity of. I hit my mic. Sorry about that. I like the creativity of some of the, I guess the things that are out of place in the world, like the way some of them looked. It was just kind of interesting. Like I kind of looked at some of it and I'm like, God, like how do you think to come up with something like that to draw that? So I thought I liked the imagery in that movie, in that short film a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and like kind of like the whole meaning behind it about growing up, and you don't really notice those things anymore.
Right. I guess it was kind of, I guess you could say maybe, I mean, I don't know. There was a take on, it was all in his mind. It was him. It was make believe.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
his imagination. As he gets older,
You lose your imagination.
it just kind of goes away. Yeah. So that's cool. That was cool. I liked it, especially the
Sounds
ends.
like Toy Story 3.
Yeah, kind of does sound like Toy Story
True.
3. That's why it's the Lost Thing, because it was supposed to. Toy Story 3 took its thunder, so now this is just the lost thing, the lost story.
All right, so those are just some of our picks. At least our picks. I think it's the majority of rules here. Toy Story 3, even though I know you guys haven't seen the other ones, I still think you would say the Toy Story 3 because I know you guys, and you guys would say Toy Story 3.
I know. It's going to win Best Animated Movie this year. So
for sure, animated.
There's no way it wins.
It's not going to win. Yeah, it won't win Best Picture. I'll be surprised. To me, the Oscars have made quite a turnaround. If
you don't think it's going to be Toy Story 3 that wins Best Picture, what do you think would be the one that wins Best Picture?
The Social Network. I could say that without seeing it. I feel like that's going to win it.
I'm going to go with The Fighter.
Oh wow, I didn't expect you to say The Fighter.
I think The Fighter will get a big award like that, but I don't think I don't think Bale will get Best Supporting Actor. I think he'll get snubbed there, but I bet The Fighter wins the big one.
Not even the artsy Black Swan. You don't think?
It's a toss up, but I think they're gonna try and go a different way this year to prove that we're not all artsy fartsy guys. Come on, we're not all just a bunch of old fuckers that don't like good movies.
Is that
we only like shit you haven't seen before.
Is that your?
That's your pick then, Mike. Fighter.
Yeah,
Pick
Fighter.
Then,
If it's not Toy Story, The Fighter.
Okay, Bryce, Social Network. Okay, I was gonna. Oddly enough, I was actually gonna pick The Fighter, but I'll go ahead and I'll pick something else. Actually,
no, pick what
no,
you feel,
I'm
man.
not gonna say The Fighter.
It
was a good contender.
Though. That was the point.
But I want to go with
Did you hear
Inception.
When I said it, he was like, "Fuck, he stole my thunder." God.
Yeah.
Podcast over. We're not friends anymore.
Say The Fighter. I didn't think you were gonna say it. You jerk.
I'm gonna go with Inception. I'll go with Inception. So we got The Fighter, Inception, and Social Network. Even though we think Toy Story 3 should win.
Yes.
But see, I feel like you're just picking that to be different. Like, you honestly think if Toy Story 3, you think Inception has a legitimate shot of winning?
Yes, I do think that easily top two. So
Okay.
What's your other? And so your other one's The Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those are our picks and
Abbreviated picks.
Yeah, abbreviated picks.
Yeah. Mostly Rick's picks.
I know.
Right.
With
us chiming in here and there trying to be fun.
Yeah.
So, what do we take a break here and then continue with video games?
Yeah, we'll come back with some video game stuff.
Take a listen to this.
All right, and we're back, and we're going to talk about video games here. And just real quickly before I get into the games I want to talk about, have you guys played anything recently that's kind of spoken to you? Go ahead, Rick. You start.
Recently, actually, just Skate 3. Really, I haven't really bought anything new. Except for Skate 3. I know I'm late to the game on that, but I really love that. It's so much. The controls were so much better than the second one.
Than Skate 2,
Skate 2,
yeah.
you were totally right on that. So I really enjoy the graphics, the customability. I can't talk. The customizable.
Customization.
There you go.
Sir.
It's so much better than the first, the second one.
Yeah, and that's something they've evolved on over all three games. Like, the first game was very limited. And the second game, they're like, hey, you can create your own graphics and throw it on, like, your deck. And then...
You can create your own
move pieces
graphics?
Around.
Put on your deck?
Yeah, dude. The stuff I have on my character's shirt and on my board, I created those online.
Wait, online?
You gotta go
on the website?
You gotta go by Skate 2.
Yeah, on Skate 3's website.
Shouldn't have traded in. Got to go back and do it. There's a whole part of that game you fucked up and missed.
Are you kidding me, or can I still do it?
No. On Skate 3, you can do that. You go online on skate3.com and they have a graphics section.
Oh, I thought it was Skate 2. Sorry.
Okay, so I didn't know I had to do it online. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to do that then.
Yeah, it's a bunch of simple shapes. It's not a paint program. It's like just simple shapes you can put together and layer and overlap and stuff.
So. I gotta mess with that.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And so in the second game, it's like, hey, you can move these pieces around and kind of create your own lines. And then now in the third one, you can basically create your own full-on skate parks and not just piece-by-piece stuff. So they've kind of slowly evolved that over the course of the three games, which is the best way to do it. You don't want to give everybody everything out of the gate, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You've played both Skate 2 and 3, right, Bryce? So what do you think of those? Is that like... I'm sure there's other stuff after that have really spoken to you, but was there...
Both those games, obviously you and I switch back and forth from playing both. I think both games have their pluses and minuses. Obviously, Skate 2 has that kind of more of an open world feel to it.
Yeah, man, I missed that.
Yeah. And so, and then Skate 3, you're kind of more confined in a space, but they're both fun in their own ways. It's hard for me. I guess, yeah, the controls are probably a little bit better on Skate 3, but it's not really that noticeable for me, to be honest with you. I could switch back from both those games, pretty seamlessly. If anything, I'm a little better at pulling off, although I've gotten better at it since. But I remember at first I had a harder time pulling off flips and stuff on Skate 3, and it was easier for me in Skate 2. The other thing I really like about Skate 2, but I don't know. There's pluses and minuses because Skate 2 seems to have, and you know how much I love the big air. It seems like it has more big air to me, and I
Right.
think you even felt that way too. However, playing Skate 3 online, there's a lot of challenges. You and I pretty much played that whole game. You played it on your own, but you played it
Yep.
with me pretty much all the way through online.
Yep.
And playing that online, like, while maybe there wasn't as many like just deliberate like you're gonna get big air here, there is a lot of fun events that you and I had fun doing over and over and over again. I haven't gotten to play with Rick as much,
Right.
but and then I recently replayed it through again with Mike because he wanted. Why did you do that again? Because of the trophies, or you were just bored?
I
Huh?
was just bored. Like
So-
I should have been. I have a shitload of games. I have a backlog that's insane. Like
Yeah.
I still haven't
Mike's
played
got
through
5.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, you've got like 5. He would have 5 brand new games. Like, crap, I don't know what to do. I'm like, why don't you play with new? It's like, I think I'm gonna break out Skate. And
The first Skate.
The first Skate. And then I'm like, all right, okay, cool, man. You got it out of your system now. Like, why don't you
2
play?
sittings. I beat it in 2
other games?
sittings.
Then it's Skate 2. Then it was Skate 3. Then it was like Rock Band, which it's fine. It was just funny, like I think Mike liked knowing that he had those in his back pocket.
Yeah. And that's those games that were in my back pocket are what I'm kind of going to talk about here in a minute. So
Yeah, I would agree with all that. I mean, I really enjoy the skateboarding games. I mean, I played the Tony Hawk games on the PlayStation, and what were the other?
Skater.
I'm sorry.
Did anyone play Skater
Oh,
Die?
Skater Die, of
Yes.
course. That was
okay. Am I the only one? Did anybody play Thrasher?
yes.
Oh, such a good game.
I love Thrasher too. I was so into those skateboarding games, dude. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the Thrasher. I the Tony Hawk games. I never played Underground. I even did.
Yeah,
I
I
even
wanna-
played. I know it's not skateboarding, but I even did the snowboarding game. I was a big, board guy,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it's funny. I'm glad you guys brought up Skate, and now that you're bringing up Tony Hawk, because I got to get something off my chest about this game. Everybody thinks that the series went downhill after Tony Hawk 4. Bullshit. Tony Hawk 1, 2, 3, and 4 were awesome. Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2 were really, really, really fun. American Wasteland sucked, but Project 8 was fun.
That's
Like I had more fun with Project 8 than I did with Tony Hawk Underground or Underground 2. Like Project 8 was awesome because it made it feel like one cohesive city. Like it was a suburban area, there was a construction area, there was a elementary school area. Like it was all
That's
tied
cool.
together in one big thing. And then Tony Hawk Proving Ground, just they lost their way, man, with that series, and it showed in that last game. But yeah, and then you got the shitty Tony Hawk Shred and Tony Hawk Ride. Like nobody wants to play skateboarding games with the peripheral. You know what I mean? Like
no one's gonna pull out I mean, if you're gonna pull out, especially for a skateboarding game, pull out some kind of device. Might as well just go outside and get yourself a skateboard and go skate.
yeah, that's that's not even really fair though, because you could say the same thing about Rock Band and stuff.
And if you're gonna pull out, I mean, at least be pulling out of a woman and not a skateboard.
If you're gonna pull out before sure you do it at the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying. Like I think by the time those games came out, people were on peripheral fatigue.
Yeah.
Because we had 4 years of Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, and guitars and drums, and then if you go back old school like me, a DDR mat sitting up against the wall.
Oh, I never had that.
It just
Power
so
pad.
Oh, I've had the power pad.
but I think when Tony Hawk Ride came out, I think people were on peripheral fatigue. Like
Well,
I
dude,
think it
not
was
even-
time to just cut it out. You know?
You could even, I mean, you know me, I'm a big Nintendo person, but like even like with the Wii, there's that it got to a point where it's like you have to buy this, you have to buy that. So I mean, even people, obviously Wii was a hot seller. A lot of people have that. Even that obviously contributed to peripheral fatigue.
And the shitty thing about that, like with Nintendo and with these other games, like Ride and even Rock Band and Guitar Hero, it's like, okay, you got to buy this peripheral to play this game. We might make other games, we might not.
Right, that's
You're
not good.
gonna spend $80 to play one game.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. That's a mistake that I think needs to be corrected with all 3 systems. Really, I mean, I realize Xbox and PS3 came later to the party with the motion stuff, but really, like when all 3 come out with new systems, that needs to be done with. Figure out what your main thing's going to be, and that's it. Like you have to buy this and buy that. I think that's a mistake.
Like I do it with Rock Band because I play drums, but it's like I got to a point where it's like I'm not buying any more stuff.
That's a different.
Just give me the disc. Just
Right.
give me the disc.
That's a different beast, though. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
for sure.
That's something totally different. But I'm just saying, like me being a Nintendo person and a Wii person, and now kind of watching it happen with the PlayStation. Well, I guess not so much the 360 because you play with the Air with the 360 with Kinect. You don't need shit. But whatever.
Okay, but at least with the Wii and even PlayStation Move and Kinect, like those core things. There's going to be a lot of games for those core things. Right,
that's true.
But then when you, like with the Wii, when you get to the balance board, and then with Tony Hawk Ride and Shred, when you get to that board, and then you got DJ Hero, and then you've got other competing types of games with their own peripheral. Like it gets too much.
Yeah,
man. It gets too much.
Becomes an overload when you have so many things and so many devices. I mean, plus you got to find places to store them too, and you got to lug them out when you want to play them, and then lug them back in when you don't want to. I mean, when you got to put them away. So it's like
you want to talk too much. I mean, I'm gonna rip Kinect here in a second, but Sony and Nintendo are both guilty. Nintendo started it, so I mean, I blame them. But it's like they both have the stupid. They're like Nintendo has the zapper, and I've seen Sony's thing was pretty much the same thing. It basically just holds the fucking controller to make it seem like a gun. Stupid. Now this one is worse. I forget what it's called, but one of the first games that came out on Kinect, and like you're in that inner tube thing or whatever. Yeah. Okay, that game.
Kinect Adventures.
Right, Kinect Adventures. There's a specific thing that I saw retarded. Some third party. So blame the third party, I guess.
It's always third party, dude. It's always third party.
Right. They took the time to actually make a raft that you could buy. And
oh my god!
Play the raft. And what purpose does the raft serve? Nothing other than you're standing in.
They made a raft for that game.
Yeah. Yes.
No, a third party.
Oh, a third
party company.
Okay.
They made a raft for the game, which really is pointless. I could take a pillow and pretend that's the raft and do the same fucking thing. It doesn't do anything. Like, I mean, that just blew my mind. I was like, really? Like, I can't believe that someone took the time. They're just trying to take people's money, pretty much. Yeah. That's just a poor, desperate attempt to try to get people's money.
Here's the one thing I will say for the Wii Zapper and for the thing that for Move. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't either.
But it's basically the same thing. What I'll say for that is, like, for me, like, if I'm going to play a on-rail shooter or a shooter game in general, I would use that because I have trouble keeping a steady hand.
Yeah.
So that's if I bought Time Crisis for PlayStation Move, I would totally get the one with the plastic shell for the Wiimote or for the PlayStation Move wand or whatever the fuck they call it, because I don't want to hold my hand uncomfortably. I want to hold my hand comfortably while I'm playing a game like that I like.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's Resident Evil 4 on the Wii or I guess Killzone now for PlayStation 3, it comes out Tuesday, by the way.
Cool.
So pumped about that. And so you have your little sub controller in the back, and then you have your gun in the front, and just like you would with the Wii Zapper, but everything is functional. Like, it doesn't take away functionality, just like with the Zapper. I don't think takes away functionality.
No.
So everything is still accessible through that thing, and it would help you keep a steady hand. That's the only reason I would use it. But honestly, dude, I'm not going to play Killzone like that.
Right.
I'm not going to play it in 3D. I'm not going to play it with the Move. I'm going to play it with a controller, sitting in front of my TV, having a fucking blast.
I think my gripe with those things, though, like, I see your point and I see what it does, but I just think it's dumb that essentially it's a plastic holder for your controllers. Like, I would rather fucking buy a real gun, not a real gun, but
end up shooting your TV.
But I just mean the gun that was for the original Nintendo. I'd rather them take the time and make something like that, make something like the light gun, than just to be buying a plastic.
Yeah, but then they have to charge you $20 more than the plastic shell, and then you're getting raped even more on price.
I guess, but they're already raping you on pretty much buying a holder. So
yeah. You know what I do like though? It's optional. I guess that's good.
Yeah, it's optional, so it's okay.
Some of that stuff is optional, but the stuff that pisses me off is like, hey man, Tony Hawk Ride, you want to play this game? You can't use a controller. You got to use this board, and you got to go pay $100 to get this board and the game.
I enjoy actually having the gun, the peripheral for it, and like I actually want to get Time Crisis, and I mean I like that arcade style. So for someone like me, because I like the old arcade fashion style, I would actually buy the gun and or the attachment, and play it that way. But, well, I mean, obviously I don't play it now because just busy, and I still think it's a little too expensive. I mean, if I had the time, I would totally buy the gun and I would play it that way. I mean, I enjoy going. I mean, I go to the local arcade here and with my buddy, and we still go and play those. Shit, I don't remember the name of it, but I mean, we pick up the guns and we play them. Like one of the
Ghost. I think it's like Ghost Squad.
Ghost Squad. That's the one. Yeah, we every time.
Do you guys go to Camelot or
no?
what?
We go to Boomers.
Oh, okay.
And we play the crap out of Ghost Squad. We passed it like 3 times already.
Yeah, you can get that on the Wii for like $30.
Really?
Is Camelot still Camelot, or did it turn into a Boomers?
No, it's still Camelot.
I don't know.
The one off the 91, right?
Off the 91?
Yeah,
yeah.
Camelot.
Yeah.
I used to go there and play laser tag.
Oh yeah, I did everything. I went on the slides. I mini golfed. I did everything there. I'm with you, Rick. I'm not knocking that. I love the arcade stuff. What I'm knocking is just the fact that what you would purchase is essentially a casing for the remotes.
Which I understand. I mean, they should, which I think some of them do. I think Sony still does it. I mean, they sell you the game bundled or the game without. You know, so that's kind of a good deal. I mean, I for one would buy it with the gun. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Because I enjoy playing it like that.
I think that's the only game I would buy to use PlayStation Move. Like, I'm borrowing Ben's right now, and it's just like the Wii is good too, man. It's just, but I don't see myself playing games like that by myself. Like,
oh, for sure, you gotta play with someone.
With somebody. If I'm playing with somebody, then yeah, that's a great thing to have. But I don't want to play game. I don't like a single player experience like that.
Yeah, I'll probably play more because I rent such a small little room. A small little room. I don't
storage shed.
Pretty much. I don't get the new Rock Band 3 or any of the big giant peripherals because I just don't have any room for it. Otherwise, I mean,
right?
How I would get it.
Yeah, you just come over here and play
I just go over your house and play it. Which is better because we get to play together and it's a lot more fun that way anyways.
Yep. For sure. Have you had any single player game experiences recently, Bryce? I mean, well, we know your PS3 died.
Yeah, I got the Yellow Light of Death. Hopefully that comes back soon. But before it died, I got to start Dead Space 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
I really like Dead Space. I know, Mike, you're not a fan, or you just didn't like the controls.
Not a fan of the first one. Not a fan
or whatever. But anyway, I liked the first one a lot, and the second one is really epic too. I told Rick, I know he has the first one. Like, dude, he just hasn't been in the mood to play that kind of game. Like, honestly, like
I'm not in the mood to play it.
He hasn't been in the mood. I'm like, I'm telling you, play it. You'll like it. And the second one is just so far. I think I didn't realize it was actually kind of funny. In the first one, it was kind of more obvious when you were done with a chapter. Mm-hmm. You know, like the screen would kind of go black and it would say like chapter 2 in the corner. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, after when I get done with the first chapter, I'm going to stop. You know, because like I was going to eat or something. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, this chapter is freaking huge, you know? And then all of a sudden I paused for, I don't remember what, but I paused the game and I'm like, chapter 6? I'm like, holy crap. So, I mean, I lost myself in that game and I blew through 6 chapters of it, not because it's short. I played the game for like 5 hours and I was just like, you know, the whole time I honestly was thinking like, this is long, because I swear, I mean, I kind of lost track of time too, but I was like, I really thought I was still on the first chapter, but I really dug that. That's probably the most recent thing that I've played that's really kind of blown away. Oh, the other thing too is I got to play some Super Meat Boy. And
oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, that game is really fun, and it is as advertised. It'll make you frustrated, but to me, it makes you frustrated in a good way. Maybe kind of like Mike right now. You're determined with the Fushigi stuff right now. It's like there'll be a level on Super Meat Boy where it'll kind of haunt you. You're like, dang it, I know I could beat it. To me, it's a good kind of thing. Like I was getting frustrated, and and I would set the controller down, but I would come back to it and want to pass the level. You know what I mean? Like it's a pretty addictive game. But as far as recently, that's about it. I mean, I'm still playing through.
Is that on the PlayStation Network?
No, the game? It's only on Xbox Live, I think, right now.
Oh, Xbox.
It's a game. It's a downloadable game. And then what else?
How dare you say?
Well, actually, speaking of Xbox, I might get my hands on an Xbox
360.
No
Podcast.
No.
over.
I'm not saying I'm buying it.
Friendship over.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
Okay.
it. I guess one of my coworkers, his son has one. I guess he's bored with it and wants a PlayStation 3. Not only that, I think the CD tray is broken. It's not like coming in and out. So that's something easy I can fix. So
yeah, it's easy.
So
fix.
I told him, yeah, just give it to me.
Just shake
Like,
the motherfucker until
exactly.
it opens.
Like, yeah, just give it to me. I'll take a look at it.
Well,
Nice.
in that case, podcast and friendship suspended.
Oh, come on. You know I'm a diehard PlayStation fanatic. I had my doubts,
Oh, and then
but
two
I came
other-
back.
Did you really? What were your doubts? I didn't. This is a side of Rick I haven't heard before. I need to hear this story.
Oh, well,
and so does everyone else.
I guess. But when the first Xbox came out, or was going to come out, I was actually deciding whether I was going to get the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox. And was my friend Brian, who actually told me, like, oh, you have to get PlayStation. We're loyal to PlayStation. Don't go to Microsoft. I'm like, I don't know. I played it. It's pretty good, you know. Like, we'll just play with the PlayStation. We'll see what happens.
You probably just wanted what was shiny and new at the time.
It could be that. I probably jumped into the marketing shark, but I mean, the PlayStation 2 swayed me over. I mean,
I had an original Xbox. Not gonna lie, I liked
sure,
it.
you did have one.
I still have it. I still pop
That's right.
in Halo and
We
Halo
played
2.
Halo like, what was it? Maybe a few months back.
How fun was that? Yeah, how
That
fun
was
that?
fun. It reminded me of the days when I would go to
Like I don't
LAN
hate
parties.
the first Xbox. I hate the second Xbox because it's a piece of junk.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, I might get my hands on an Xbox, but I'm staying with PlayStation. I mean, it's the most stable console out there. Well, at least for
Yeah.
me
Okay,
and Mike.
you got two. No, mine died last
That's right.
February.
Yeah, that's not fair. I don't know if you can make that statement. I think that might be the Wii that's the most stable console out there.
I've had PlayStation 1,
'Cause it doesn't get
2,
played as
and
much.
3, and none of
No.
them have ever took a shit on me.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look up
Well,
on
yeah,
the
I
internet
did.
what's breaking,
Well, I mean, I looked up
It's
the
pretty-
yellow, what was it call it?
Yellow light of
Yeah,
death.
I looked that up. I've never had that.
well, I know I'm not talking about you never having it, but I'm just saying statistically, what you hear most about is Xbox is breaking.
They
The
still
PS
break on the assembly line, man.
the-
on
the-
the assembly line.
the PlayStation thing was kind of new to me. When it happened to Mike, I was surprised. I was like, really? You know, because like both Nintendo and Sony, I really had just never heard this happen.
It's a small percentage, man. I don't even know.
Yeah, I would say it's probably Nintendo and Sony that are the most stable.
Yeah,
Well,
for
obviously,
sure.
yeah, Sony is a little bit more stable.
You could piss on an SNES and that shit would still work.
Yeah. Rick doesn't want to give any props to Nintendo. He just keeps saying, "Oh, Sony, 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 Sony."
come
Sony,
on.
Sony.
You know, I like the Nintendo.
But
That was my first console, was a Nintendo. Let's talk about first consoles. My first console was a Nintendo. What was yours?
Nintendo.
There you
Mine, mine was a Sega Master System.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Sega Master System. Got it the day it came out.
I got Nintendo the day it came out.
Nice.
Then
Actually, a correction. My sister got it, and I pretty much took over it.
Yeah. Then I got a Nintendo about 2 years later. But for a while, I was a Sega kid.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well, let's bring it back on topic, I guess. Two other things that I've been playing. Also, not that everyone wants to hear what I'm playing, but I've just been playing a lot of stuff. Playing Mario Galaxy 2, which is cool, and I've been playing Spirit Tracks, trying to get through that because if I trade in Spirit Tracks and all my DS stuff before this Sunday, I get $75 towards the 3DS. Yes, I'm buying a 3DS, and yeah, so that's what I'm playing. And then
It's okay, because I'm getting the PSP2 day that comes out, so whatever.
I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked since I've always talked about being the type of person that doesn't necessarily like to get stuff the first day.
Yeah, I'm generally not a fan of that.
So,
But-
but Mike, you go into what you want to talk about, but there's two things that I want to talk about that I haven't played, but that are coming out. You
And
guys
it'll
will
be the
see
show.
it, so. Yes, that's one thing. I've seen two videos recently. One that Rick sent me, and another one that I saw on Kotaku, which Mike, I was tired. I didn't send it to you, but I wanted you to see it.
I'm excited to try the demo because I want to try the new pitching system. Because if I like it, I'll come back.
I think the videos would get you excited too, personally. But we'll get to that. And then there's something else which I know you're going to want to talk about too, because even though I'm not on Twitter, I happen to go onto your Twitter and I watched that video from Giant Bomb that you posted today. Dude, of that trailer.
How crazy is that?
But get to your stuff first.
We'll talk about that at the
your stuff first.
Backside. All right. So my single player experiences that I've had recently that just blew my mind are 2 games that are flying under everybody's radar, just because they may not be the most graphically polished or controls may get a little wonky here and there. But you know what, man? These games are fucking amazing. There's Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom, which is basically a Zelda throwback. Like, all the way to the point where you start in the castle, you have to escape the castle, and then you have to get back in the castle by beating 4 mini bosses to get in to fight essentially Ganon. It's crazy. It's such an awesome game, man.
Yeah, I played the demo. I don't know if you played the demo, Rick, but I was really Mike and I were both pretty excited about that, and I eventually ended up getting it for Mike, and he's beaten it, and he loves
25 hours, man. Great boss battles, very creative stuff, easy stuff, but very creative stuff, man. It's just such a throwback to the things I loved about like Ocarina of Time, like that style of Zelda, and even the little bit of Twilight Princess I played, like just a great throwback to that, and new characters. Like I think that's what kept me in, because it's basically Zelda. It's like, okay, go collect this, go search down this, defeat this, get to the next step. So it's basically Zelda, but I think the thing that kind of kept me in and didn't get me bored was it was new characters to care about, new characters to be attached to, and the character development of that game is friggin' amazing. It's a great story, great ending. I got what's called the bad ending, but I loved it better than what I've seen as the good ending. So I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that, because I want you guys to go play it, and I want whoever listens to this to hear me say that it's a great game and go play it.
I'll play it,
because you can get it for like $30 or $40 right now. Like it's not a full $60 priced game.
Yeah, the demo was really fun. I'm glad you enjoyed the game. You know, I was probably going to get it regardless, but I was, you know, the fact that you kind of got to play through it first was going to also sort of be a test for me to be like, well, was it just the demo or not? You know, not that I was trying to have you be a guinea pig or anything, because like I said, I was interested in the game too. But it sounds fun, man. That's definitely on my radar.
Yeah, man. Even going back to last year, Darksiders was kind of the same way. It was like a Zelda game, but for an adult audience, and that was an awesome game too.
Well, as long as you're bringing up Zelda a little bit, not that we won't change topics, but I've been playing Spirit Tracks, and just you talking about sometimes it doesn't have to be really difficult. And I'm not saying it's easy, but sometimes it's the simplicity of things. And there's been a few puzzles on Spirit Tracks in some of these dungeons that have kind of just blown my mind, where they actually are challenging, but they're fun. And it's just like, I'm not going to go into great detail, because if people haven't played the game, then they're not going to know what I'm talking about anyway. But I hear what you're saying with that, man. And I like that. That's what I like. Rick, I don't know if we ever talked to you about this, but one thing Mike and I really like about Uncharted is kind of the Indiana Jones aspect of the puzzle solving. Like one thing that we both really loved in the first game, and I loved the first game, but it kind of bummed me out. But that first half of the game, a lot of the puzzle stuff that you had to do and figure things out, for me, was kind of a throwback to some of the games that I grew up on. And I loved it. And then the second half of the game, it turned really heavy shooter, which is fine, but it bummed me out a little bit. And that's what I was really hoping for in the second game, which I think they had a better mix. But I mean, it's pretty clear that, you know, the game to me it's more of a shooter than anything else. But I like that they sprinkle that in there.
I think 2 was better paced than 1.
Yeah, it was. It was sprinkled in. I still would love to see even more, though. That's how much I love that. I like standing around with Sully and trying to figure out where to go and what to do next.
Yeah. And it gets to a point where, like, dude, shut up. Okay, I'll figure it out. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Sully.
Yeah.
Well, man, you know what? Then you should play Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom, and you should play this next game, Enslaved. Because both of those games, man, it's flipping switches and pulling levers and twisting lights. Like, that's all those puzzles are, but there's just something so genius in the simplicity.
It's satisfying,
yeah.
I played the Enslaved demo too, as you know, and I got a kick out of that also. So
Yeah, and you just basically got to play a lot of the traversal and combat. Like you haven't really there's no puzzles in that demo. And that game, like I just finished that yesterday. Ninja Theory makes great games. If you have a PS3 and you haven't played Heavenly Sword, go out and buy it because you can get it super cheap right now.
You've been telling me that for years.
I'll go do that.
Still.
That was one of the first games I got when I got my PS3, and it was one of the games I was looking forward to. It was like one of my reasons for getting a PS3 was this game. And it's just so amazing. You fall in love with the lead character. And you don't want anything bad to happen to her. And it's the same in Enslaved. Like Ninja Theory is so good at telling stories. And the combat is basic. It's a little button mashy. It's a little sometimes combo heavy, and there's a shooting aspect that you don't necessarily need to use. There's some spots where you have to, but it's paced so well. It's like a movie. You're playing a movie.
That's definitely something I've been wanting to play. I mean, if it's that cheap now, I'll probably go pick it up. But I remember seeing the commercials for it. But like I said, I never picked it up.
Yeah, so after playing Enslaved, and I played Heavenly Sword years ago when it came out, like I'm so pumped to see what they do with the Devil May Cry series, because I've always liked the combat of Devil May Cry, but there's just never been a strong story. But the way Ninja Theory tells stories, man, that game's going to be sweet. I don't care what anybody says about the way Dante looks or about because his hair is black and combed in front of his eyes, he's emo. And I'm like, dude, go look at Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. His hair was white and combed in front of his eyes, which is even more emo than fucking black hair. Like it's there's so much shit talked on video games when people haven't even played them yet, and these two, like Enslaved and Majin of the Forsaken Kingdom, fly under radars because games like Call of Duty Black Ops came out and Halo Reach came out, and then Red Dead Redemption came out last year, and Darksiders even flew under the radar, and that's a great game. I mean, you had all these big monster games come out, and then games get lost in the shuffle, and it sucks, man, because there's some great games out there that people need to play.
Well, people are too judgmental, man. Like they really are. Like, I mean, people do. You talking about the whole thing with the hair and looking emo and stuff. I mean, I just read an article recently on IGN that I thought was interesting. Again, not to bring it back to Zelda, but they were talking about. No, I'm blanking on it. Wind Waker, and how when that first came out, everyone was like, they were shocked because they were expecting a more like a Zelda like Twilight Princess, and they were shocked at the art direction. And this guy that wrote the article included was talking about how he was are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. It got quiet for a second. I don't know what. I think I have Skype issue.
No, we're very interested in what you're saying.
Okay. Anyway, so it got quiet. But anyway, even this guy that wrote the article was saying he was one of the people, he was judging the game before it came out. He's like, I'm not going to buy this game. There's no way that Zelda can be good. Nintendo betrayed us. This is crap. And so, yeah, pretty much kind of what Mike's saying is just people just judge something by the way that it looks and not bother to ever play through it because they just don't think it's going to be any good. And that's not fair. And you do miss out on a lot of games that way. And I love that. I was probably a little bit shocked by the art direction of Wind Waker 2, but I mean, looking back, I loved that game and it was really fun playing through it and it worked and they ended up being right in doing what they did, So it's just one of those things where, you shouldn't, there's too many people that judge things, not to be cliche, but by its cover. And, people lose out on opportunities and experiences that way.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that, man.
So I just brought that up because I had just read that article last night, and that guy was totally just like, nope. And it just, as soon as you mentioned the hair thing, that's what it reminded me of. It's just off one little thing. And it's like, come on, man, like that's not good.
But bottom line, man, if you love Zelda, go play Majin of the Forsaken Kingdom. You can get it for cheap because it's a cheap game anyway. And if you like great storytelling, cinematic storytelling, where you don't feel like you're just watching cutscenes, like where you feel like you're actually having a say in what's going on, play Enslaved. So good. Great story, great pacing, breaks down real good. Like you get there's a lot of combat heavy stuff, and then you get 2 or 3 chapters where it's just like, get to the other side and solve this puzzle. It's downtime right now. Just chill out and get to know these characters because you fall in love with the female character in that game.
Enslaved?
See, I haven't.
Yeah, and Enslaved.
Oh,
I haven't played any more than the demo, but I would almost even say, and I'm saying this solely off of something, and I've talked to you about this, Mike, and I need to show both you and Rick the video, but I think it has Uncharted elements to it. At least this one thing that I saw.
Oh no, dude! The whole game is like even the stuff in the demo when you're trying to escape the ship.
Okay,
like,
yeah,
that's very Uncharted style of traversal and moving along and stuff like that, just furthering progression. It's very, very good, very well done.
when did this game come out?
Enslaved came out like in September, October last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably
fairly new.
I've had it. I've had it since then, and just recently was able to sit down and play it.
Oh, I see.
I've got. See, okay, well, check it out. That came out September or October. Then Rock Band came out the beginning of November, so I didn't touch Enslaved because I got stuck in Rock Band. Then Gran Turismo came out at the end of November, and from November until the beginning of February, I didn't touch any. Gran Turismo didn't leave my tray. Which
we
is
lost
another game
for a bit of time.
Yeah, everybody lost me.
But honestly, I could tell even without playing it that it's got an Uncharted feel to it. And I've talked about this with Mike, but just so everyone can know, also there's what's it called again, Mike? The download expansion with Pigsy.
Pigsy's Perfect 10.
Pigsy's Perfect 10. Okay, I saw a video. Someone on Kotaku, again, I'm not trying to plug their site, but anyway, I read online. And this dude posted the video and just said it's like Uncharted, but with the fat dude. And like this segment that he shows of this thing, I mean, I have to show both of you. It's like it made me want to I wanted to play the game even more when I saw it. And I was like, wow, like it gives me that Uncharted experience that I love, which is kind of like the adventuring part of Uncharted that I really dig a lot, and that's what I got out of this. You guys have to see the video; you'll feel the same way. Like it really blew me away. It got me excited to really want to go out and get this game.
It was just so great, man, to play two third-person action adventure games that are really adventure games back to back. It was so refreshing to play some adventure games with a little bit of combat. I'm sure you guys know, but I don't know if people really realize how refreshing it is to get away from everything, like every shooter that's coming out. Call of Duty and like Halo Reach, which I'm sure I didn't get to play Halo, don't have a 360, but I'm sure it's great because the other games were great. But same with Black Ops, man. I'm sure that story is great, but people come to it for the multiplayer, and it's like, I'm tired of shooting people in the head. I'm tired of stabbing dudes with knives. Like, tell me a story.
Mm-hmm.
Suck me in, man. Give me something to get attached to.
I mean, like we've said before, I mean, we're all about the story. I mean, I believe there has to be a good story to a game. The multiplayer is fun and great. Maybe even throw some freaking story into the multiplayer, kind of like what Uncharted did with the co-op stuff. Exactly. I mean, throw some of that in there, and then every 4 months or 3 months maybe, toss in some new stories as a multiplayer, and people will download it. I mean, if it's a good story.
Yeah, man. Like a great story we all played last year was Heavy Rain, man.
Oh yeah, Heavy Rain.
Amazing story. Amazing story.
That was a fun game to play too.
That was an awesome game.
Could have used some tweaks here and there with the controls, man, but Heavy Rain was so good, and where I want games to go. I want games to go in that direction and get away from headshots and teabagging. I want story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Seriously, it kind of, you could bring it back to what we were talking about with when we were talking about movies earlier, and we were talking about everything's a remake. You know what I mean? It's like in video games, it seems like everything's a fucking shooter. Because
they're playing it safe.
It is refreshing to play something that you could still have that in the game, but don't make it always the primary focus. You know what I mean? Like you could still, I'm not saying I need to have a game that has no combat in it whatsoever. I'm not saying that, but it's fun to go through. Those parts in Uncharted are fun to go through, and you're trying to figure out which way to go and how do you get through this door or go out of that hole. Like that needs to come back. And so, yeah, I totally hear you, Mike, and how that's refreshing. And we've talked about this a ton, and I feel the same way as you do about shooters, and I'm sure Rick does too.
And it's not that I'm anti-shooter, because
I'm not either.
Same here.
I'll pop in a shooter every once in a while. I'll pop it in and I'll play it and I'll love it, but just I don't want that to be like I'm pumped to get Killzone, but I'm probably not going to play it online a lot. I'll probably go through the story and that, and maybe play online a little bit here and there. I'm just not a big online, like I said, I'm tired of the headshots and teabags. Give me some story.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to really quick, just to Heavy Rain. I mean, the controls on that, like you said, they were good. I just have to ask, when you played that game, did you play it with the controllers on easy, medium, or hard?
I played it on the hardest mode that there was because I took the question way too literally. I did not realize it was a difficulty question when it asked, how well do you know your controller? And I was like, perfectly well. Are you kidding? Like, I know the controller. What are you talking about? So I didn't realize till later that was the fucking difficulty setting.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I was putting my big toe and my tongue and my thumb and all five
that was
of my
my
fingers.
next question. If you played on that high, you actually used your tongue, because I caught myself I actually had to use my tongue on playing one of that games. I ran out of fingers. I can't do this. So,
dude, I played it on medium because I knew what that question was before the game came out. Because I watched the quick look on Giant Bomb, and they talked about that stuff, and it's like, this is not a literal question. This is difficulty stuff, man. So I did the medium difficulty, and even then I was like using my chin and my nose,
right,
and tweaking my hands still. So it was still like it made you feel like you were going through that moment.
You were going through the pain of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I can't say I made out with my controller like Rick did, and that's not a shot. That's not a shot. But I mean, I definitely, I probably had my chin and a bunch of other, whatever else that I had to use.
His nuts.
Penis. I didn't make out with it, but
he didn't make out with it, but he incepted the shit out of that controller.
Yeah, I incepted it for show. So,
what did you play it on, Rick? Did you play it on hard?
I think I played it on hard too. Yeah, like I said, I used my tongue, my nose, my finger, everything. I give it. I got really close with my controller that night.
Rick gives that game two thumbs up.
2 tongues up. You got all relaxed. You made sure you're all comfortable. You lit some candles. Put some nice pleasant music on.
Mr. PlayStation, here we go.
Yeah, no wine, sober. Oh well, back then he was still drinking like a fish.
I wasn't drinking that much.
That was
I don't drink like a fish unless I'm in Vegas. Sometimes.
Were you even in Vegas? I don't remember seeing you. Huh. Interesting. I wonder why that was. So anyway,
yeah, man.
Continue on, Mike.
So those are 2 games I played recently that just really spoke to me in like the true sense of art. You know what I mean? Like a great storytelling, getting attached to characters and stuff like that. So go out and play those games, man. You guys should. Anybody who listens to this should.
All right. Let's just do a quick. What games? What are the games we were playing? So, like I said, I played Skate. I'm playing Skate 3, and you were playing
Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom and Enslaved.
And Bryce.
And I most recently was playing Dead Space 2.
All right.
Okay. I just started Test Drive Unlimited 2, which is an awesome game because it's always online. And I know we've said this about other games, man, but guys, this could really be our new Burnout. Like,
well, which game? Which game?
It's like Test Drive Unlimited 2.
Test Drive Unlimited 2. That just came out?
Yeah. It's like $49.99 at Target. I think it's like that deal. Like you can still get it for $49.99, but like I got it and they got like a $10 gift card and stuff last week when it came out.
Oh,
so.
Sweet.
But yeah, I just started that after I finished Enslaved, and you pick a character. It's just the douchiest game on the planet. It's like collect all these cool cars, man, and own all these houses, and you're on the island of Ibiza, and you're gonna go to Hawaii and this and that. And it's like it's very douchey, but when you strip all that away, and it's like, all right, man, I'm in my car, I'm driving. Oh look, there's somebody online on this server. Let me flash my lights at them and get either to a challenge with them or co-op challenge with them.
That's pretty cool.
And it's so huge. I think there's like 250 miles of drivable road. And then like I think 65 miles of off-road tracks. And it's like you get rewards for discovery. So like driving up and down every road on the islands, you get stuff. Like you unlock shops to customize your car. You unlock new dealers to get new cars, like places to buy new clothes, places to customize your character and stuff like that. It's super sweet, man. It's awesome.
Did you ever find out if there's a way where you could do like a private session?
No, I haven't yet. But once I figure that out, you guys are getting that game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that sounds cool. Well, for everyone, if you haven't yet, another game on the list is Burnout Paradise. 3 years old at this point, and we still fucking play it. So go out and get that damn game.
Totally. Such a good game. Took me a while, but I got into it.
Yeah, man. And this game has some elements of that too. Like, they have a device hooked up to your car called the Frim, and it's like free ride instant money is what it stands for. And it's like you build up money for doing things like drifting or near misses or catching some air, and then that levels up like a multiplier. But once it hits that, like once you get to the end of that level, you have the option to bank that money or keep that multiplier going and keep building up and building up and building up. So it's like a very cool mini game where it's like, do I want to risk turning down this street and drifting and continuing this combo where I might run into some cars? Because once you hit something, it wipes everything out. You don't get any money.
All right.
So it's like, do I want to bank this money so I have it in my wallet, or do I want to risk it and build up this combo so I get more money?
That's pretty cool.
All right. So I think what I was going to say, so what I think what I'll do is I'll just put in some of those game titles in our show notes on the site, so then listeners can go ahead and find it.
Definitely. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I'll definitely get you a list of all the games we've been talking about. So yeah.
At what point, Mike, did you decide to finally open the game? Because I knew there was some discussion. Like, did you finally find the review, or did you just say fuck it and just?
I watched Giant Bomb did a quick look of it last Wednesday, and they were making fun of it, but everything they were making fun of, I liked. Okay. And I was like, I'm opening this game. This looks rad.
That's cool.
Like, some of the server stuff is iffy right now. They're working on it. I mean, it's like I guess they weren't expecting the volume. I don't know, but there's some server stuff that you can't do yet because they're working on ironing out all the issues with it. But you can hop in and challenge people or co-op challenge with people, and yeah, it's very cool, and it's very much like an MMORPG. I like to call it an MMO car RPG.
Trademark Michael Candelaria, some shit we like.
Patent pending. But yeah, it's like once you do the license tests and you unlock that level, you do like a challenge series of like 6 races and then a blow off race, and then after that, like you like there's people you can do missions for. It's like, hey man, I need you to drive me to this part of the island. Then after that, there's challenges that pop up all over the map where they're basically quests where it's like you can go on this quest, you can go on this quest, or you can just go race, or you can just drive around the island.
That's really cool, man. That sounds like something I'm gonna have to look into as well.
Yeah, it's super sweet, man. It's super sweet. And then I have Vanquish that I haven't really got into yet. I played a little bit of. That's awesome. Like, I got so many games to play.
Assassin's Creed 2 or
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Yeah, man.
Oh, we'll definitely get into those too, for sure.
Yeah, once we play more of those and can talk about
yeah, some of these games have already come out, but I mean it's good that we still go over it, and I mean you never know who could be listening, and so
yeah,
sure later on I'm sure we're going to be talking about more current games, but for now this is, like I said, this is episode 1, so we'll definitely put up a list on our site, and so you guys can check it out.
Was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on?
I think that's it for this week, man.
Yeah, I think
episode 1 in the books.
A lot. Episode 1's in the books.
Yep, this is it, number 1. We I had a good time. I just have to say that.
Dude, it's always fun when we just hang out and talk.
That's pretty much all this is. And I think we went for quite a while too. At least it feels that way. So.
Yeah, we're pretty much hitting the 2-hour mark.
Sweet.
I think
that's about what
that's all we got for today, and let's just close it out with just what we got, which is we have an email. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, doesn't matter. We want to hear it from you. Our email is
it's someshitwelike@gmail.com.
And then you could always hit us up on Twitter, because everyone has a Twitter. And that,
yes, we do as well.
And that would be
@someshitwelike. Fuck Facebook.
Yeah, we would work the Facebook, but you know what?
No, we don't need it. We have a web space. It's called someshitwelike.com.
Exactly. Go there, and we'll have updates, links, show notes, things like that. And this is Some Shit We Like, so we're pretty much just going to talk about shit we like, as you can tell from this first episode. We might talk about some shit we don't like.
Oh, we will talk about some shit we don't like.
We definitely will.
Oh, for sure. We definitely will. And I'm sure...
Go for it.
I was going to say, I'm sure this thing will evolve. It's very, very early in the process. So
yeah, this is all new. So Maybe we'll even throw in some little tiny segments too. I figured maybe. I mean, I know this is just audio chat for now. We would like to throw up some video too as well.
I know you're dying to do that puppet show, but let's just hold off.
Darn. All right. So that's the show. And like I said, you can email us at someshitwelike@gmail.com for any questions, comments, or requests that you would actually too like to hear us talk about. So,
yeah,
Rick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Bryce.
And that was Some Shit We Like.